Well, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Life Renovation Podcast. We're really excited that you're joining us on YouTube. It's so fun to be on video. Huh, Em?
Is it fun?
Okay, it's stressful because we had to do our hair today.
It's fun.
But
it's
it's fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, we can't come in just looking all scrubby yet.
And I really wanted to look
Yeah.
scrubby this
Yeah.
morning. I had big changes in my household over the weekend.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So my oldest son and daughter-in-law were pastors with Life Church in Oklahoma City. They said goodbye to OKC and they moved all the way back up here to the Pacific Northwest.
Aww.
And so they moved in with us. So I have a 2-year-old grandson and a whole house full of 20-someths. And it was total chaos this morning. It feels like Christmas.
Yeah, that sounds so fun, though.
So
Just all
fun.
being together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how sustainable this is.
Oh, that's so fun. Oh.
So,
Wow.
But we are in June and in 2026, and so we start thinking about fathers, and so we're excited for today's episode and our guest.
Yeah. We have a great one here with us today, Rob. Hi, Rob.
Hello. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me. I feel honored.
Oh, it's so good. So good to have you here. You volunteer with Life Services, and we go kind of way back from the start, from when you started in 2020. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. I was volunteer coordinator at that time and got to have you come in for an interview.
Yeah.
And you just stuck with us. So
I have.
Yeah.
It's a great group. And I've just absolutely enjoyed getting to know the other gentlemen in the group and you ladies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so we were actually catching up before we started taping about when we started. So we started our fatherhood program in 2019. And you joined shortly after 2020, right?
Correct.
What brought you to Life Services? I mean, we're a pregnancy resource center,
Yeah.
so how did all of this come about that you joined our fatherhood program?
Yeah. It's amazing how God works.
Yeah.
And I had read a book a friend gave me called Halftime. Basically, okay, you're about 50. What are you going to do for the second half of your life? And I really felt like I wanted to mentor young men because I had just mentored 3 young men of our own. Mm-hmm. And I heard an ad on the radio. I thought, okay, Lord, I'm going to check into this.
There
And
it is. Huh.
That was as, I guess, simple as it was.
Okay. I love that it can be that simple,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I remember doing that radio ad.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then I went through the interview with Emily, and that was tough.
Yeah.
No, she was.
All my
very
hard
sweet.
questions.
Yeah, all your hard questions.
Yeah.
And you were actually brand new at the
Oh,
time,
I
too.
was.
Yeah.
So
You were so
fresh.
green.
Yeah, I know. Before we started, we were even talking about that. My first volunteer orientation. I think back on it. I think, oh, it's a wonder anybody continued through with volunteering.
But here he is.
Yeah.
I'm a testament. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
You were gentle.
Oh. Well, I would love if we're going to talk more about fatherhood, but would love if you just help our listeners, our viewers, get to know you a little bit. So can you kind of share a little bit about who is Rob Stewart and, what makes you tick, maybe some of your background?
Sure. I'm born and raised in Spokane,
Okay.
and I met a young lady out at Eastern when I was going to college out there over 41 years ago because
Okay.
we dated for a period of time. But we've been married for 41 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and we had 3 boys, and they're, I
You
told
started
you
with
that
33. Yeah.
30, and 28. I may be off a year here and there. Apologize, Nick,
Okay,
Sam.
when your boys watch this, you're
Yeah.
young men,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They'll totally correct you. Dad, come
Yeah.
on.
And we have lived in this area, their whole lives, and my dad is still alive, and he was instrumental in my life. He's going to be 80. He's going to be 90 in January.
Oh, wow.
So both he and my grandfather, my mom's dad, were really instrumental in my life. They were Dad is still an amazing man, and Grandpa was as well. And so blessed because I've met the mentees that I've worked with here, and the one underlying factor is their relationship with their dad or their lack of relationship with their dad. And so I have been blessed. Yeah, absolutely blessed.
Tell us a little bit about what you do for a living, and maybe your background, a little bit of that.
I've been in banking for 40 years.
Oh, that's right. You're a money guy.
Yeah, I'm a money guy. And I love that because you really can, you build a relationship, like It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, I feel like
Oh my goodness, you're Jimmy Stewart.
I live that every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look a little, little grayer.
Young,
than he is.
younger than him.
Yes,
but I get
definitely younger than he is.
And that's been fun. Although my poor wife, when we drive through town, she has to live through, I remember when they started, or I helped fund that or that. And that.
Yeah.
But it really has been a great career in helping, start and watch businesses grow around town. Yeah.
Okay, there's not many people around our city who can actually say that. That's quite the legacy you're leaving
Yeah, I hope so.
to Spokane, or not leaving. You're building.
Yeah,
in
I'm not done
Spokane.
yet.
Yeah, you're not done yet.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading Ephesians 6:4 says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord." I would love to know, how did that play out as you were raising your kids? How did you not provoke your boys?
There's times where, anxiety builds up and I would get angry, but hopefully not very often. I think it helped that Kim and I were 30 before we started to have kids. So
Okay.
we were a little more mature.
Yeah.
And, with that maturity comes patience. And my oldest son went through a tough couple of years, and right after he got out of college. And thank God that I know I was full of the Spirit, and acting upon, certain things that came up. It was just that I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't get angry because it wouldn't have helped at all. So, but man, that's tough because when your kids are acting out and they're wanting an angry response, or they're wanting you to get into their muck, whatever they're in, and parents, it's hard, but you just don't go there. Stay out of that and love them through it.
How do you think you learned that? You said your dad was amazing. Do you, in the moment, did you remember that being modeled for you? Just that gentleness, that consistency?
Yeah, not only from my dad, but from my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, she had a gentle spirit. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Dad he worked 6 days a week, and he was a little bit more of a hard hand at times, but rightly so at times.
Yeah.
But and my grandfather was a gentle spirit as well. Yeah, her dad. So yeah, they modeled that. I love it. Two amazing people.
It's interesting. As you were talking about just being a little bit maybe older, when you could just see the things that really weren't a huge deal. I remember I was really young when I had kids, but I remember just getting kind of stirred up and angry. And now looking back, I think that was the smallest thing. Now it's like I would have so much more patience and realize that this is not a big deal, But at the time when I was so young, it was huge.
Yeah. Having kids, that's the busiest time of your life because you're working and, and they're, especially when they're not sleeping at night or when they're getting sick and thrown up everywhere. And it's tough not to get anxious in that period of life. But I was blessed to have family in the area too. So we had both sets of grandparents here, so they could come and take the kids occasionally, give us a break. That helped.
Yeah, that support is so important.
Yeah.
Having a community around you or family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the reasons why you decided to step into this as a mentor. Yeah. Why do you? It's hard showing up as a mentor. And I know there's all sorts of different types of men, and sometimes they don't show up when you show up.
Yep.
Why do you stick with it? Like, why?
My first mentee was just out of prison when we met, and I'm a bit naive when it comes to, I had a pretty easy upbringing.
Yeah.
I won't pretend it was otherwise, but he did not. And so I think he was telling me everything I wanted to hear, rather than, hey, what's really going on in your life? And I really poured into him. And, addiction is ugly.
Yeah.
And he got pulled back into that through a group. I won't call them friends because I don't really think they're friends to him.
Yeah.
But
Right.
anyway, he ended up back in prison. And got out again, and now he's back in. And that brief period when he was out of prison, we met a couple of times, and he said, Rob, that may be where God wants me to be.
In prison.
In prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so he's away from those friends that, quote unquote, friends that drag him back, and not to put the whole blame on them.
Yeah.
He takes some accountability, but that was interesting. That was
Yeah.
hard for me because, man, we went to a golf range. He'd never done that before, and hit a bucket of balls, and we went fishing, and just stuff that he has never had a chance to do before.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. But I don't think that's I think God has a place for him behind those walls.
It's hard for me to hear that. At the same time, I think I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Right? And I love the vision that you gave that young man, because you and I both know him. I knew his girlfriend probably better.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you gave him a vision of what healthy looks like. What taking what God's given you and pouring it into somebody else and showing them that they have worth,
Yeah.
right? That they are worth pouring into, that they are loved by God.
Yeah.
And you took this beautiful experience you've had with your grandpa and your dad, and then raising your boys, and turned that into a beautiful picture for him. And so, even though he didn't have the same experience as you, you gave him a glimpse, and I think that can be powerful in somebody's life.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's not just been once.
No. Yeah, I've had a couple of other mentees and that are just doing great. They're loving their kids and loving their baby moms or wives, and they're struggling. They're still younger men and newly married and have young kids yet.
Yeah.
So, but they're taking it on.
Okay, I'd love to ask you, just from a fatherhood standpoint, like being a dad, whether it comes from parenting your own boys or helping reparent some of our own mentees. What are some of the wins that you've seen that you really celebrate, where you feel like, okay, God used me to bring that about?
Some of the conversations we've had, between the mentees and I, and that's a challenge for me because I'm not a doctorate in psychology or social work, and so I don't pretend to be able to really dive into some of the trauma that they've experienced, but we've just shared some stories, and there are times where you can see in their eyes where it's like, oh, okay.
Where they get it.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. That's one thing I admire about my dad. Sorry.
No apologies. We do emotion here.
Yeah. He grew up in Kentucky, and there was generational alcohol and not, I don't think physical abuse, but definitely verbal abuse. And he said it stops here. Stops with me.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
And that moves you.
oh man, yeah.
Can I ask why it moves you? Like what hits and what brings the emotion?
It's hard to do that as a man, to say, it's so much easier to continue on in generational stuff,
Yeah.
but to say no, it stops with me. And it took him going into the Air Force and moving away from home. He loved his mom, he had an amazing mom, but his dad was just in that environment, was just not healthy. And he said, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I look at some of the other men in my life that haven't been able to do that, and I just see the generational stuff just continues, and I just, in no uncertain terms, have tried to say, you know what, shouldn't this be enough? Shouldn't this stop with you?
Yeah.
And it is not easy.
It's really hard. Those generational patterns, multiple generations, it's like that car going around the dirt path or whatever. The ruts get deeper and deeper, and it's hard to just go a different direction. But it sounds like your dad just changed everything to make sure that he got out of that same rut
Yeah.
that was went back generations. Yeah, that's amazing. What an amazing example of strength.
Yeah. And he's not perfect. You know, none of us are.
Yeah, there was only one perfect man who ever walked this earth. And we're not him.
Yeah. But he thankfully he put his foot down
Yeah. It's
and
amazing.
just made that difficult decision.
I was just wondering, how did you navigate church with your boys and Christian values? Because you and your wife obviously have a strong faith in the Lord. So how did you approach your boys and raising them with kind of I'm assuming with a dream that they would follow Jesus like you have? How'd you approach faith with your boys?
Kim, my wife, wasn't a Christian when we got married.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would not recommend that in the vast majority of cases, but you know, I don't always listen to counsel very well, and things were fine. You know, we had a strong marriage, but when we decided to start to have kids, that's when I said, so how are we going to raise them?
Okay.
And we were going to church even, you know, prior to kids, but that decision to have kids was monumental, you know, in the rearview mirror, because that is what I think got Kim really digging into what is this Christianity, what is this church that I'm always going to, and so she went to a woman's retreat and made the decision to follow Christ.
Oh, wow.
And so then, you know, we got the boys involved with VBS and, you know, Children's Church at Garland Avenue Alliance. And that family helped shape my family, no doubt, you know, with the common faith that we had and journey that we were on. That really helped build the foundation of my family, too. I was very appreciative. Yeah.
Did your boys ever resist? Like that they lost interest, or they said, well, I don't want to go today, or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But not in what I would consider in a rebellious way. So they're all three, you know, very much believers, and their wives are believers, and so yeah.
That right there, kind of, that's not the norm.
No, yeah.
I don't know if you know that you and I have a lot in common. The more you keep talking, I'm like, I thought I knew Rob Stewart. Both went to Eastern, right? And both met our spouses at Eastern.
Okay.
And I was not a believer, and my husband was.
I'll be darned.
So, yeah, really interesting. And he married me. He did everything that his that Christianity told him not to do,
Yeah.
and then led me to the Lord
That's awesome.
with just some really pointed questions.
Yeah.
So interesting, Rob.
It's life events like having a child that can really change you.
Oh,
you know,
so much
and
so.
and I can only imagine an unplanned pregnancy. You know, Kim and I, you know, the birth of our sons were not unexpected.
Yeah.
You know, we were
Trying for
we were
kiddos.
planning for that. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful that we went that route. You know, looking back, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
So
You mentioned that you listen to this podcast. You've listened to it. So you know that we talk about faith, family, and sexuality. And so we've talked about family, your dad and your grandpa, and faith, you asked about church. So when it comes to sexuality, how did you handle navigating that part with your boys, the sexuality piece, that topic, healthy sexuality,
yeah.
integrity in sexuality, that type? Yeah.
We talked a lot about there are consequences to your actions,
Okay.
not only physical actions, but verbal actions. And so be careful.
Yeah.
Just understand that. And, you know, I did my best to talk to him about the birds and bees, you
Yeah.
know, some of the details. But a couple of things I did with my sons that I'm thankful I did, and they weren't all my ideas. Kent McDonald, who's works Youth for Christ, is a good friend of mine, and he encouraged me at some point to take my sons and celebrate, you know, them becoming men. And so on their 16th birthday, I would gather some men at my house, and we'd pray
Oh, yeah.
for them. And then that next morning, I would take them on a trip, just him and I.
Yeah.
Gosh, this gets me.
Yeah.
I know.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And we'd talk about stuff. It's like, you're a man now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be held at a higher standard.
Yeah.
And those men that love you and showed up tonight are going to help keep you to that standard.
Yeah.
So, and it was a great time. Just the boys and I,
Yeah.
you know, and not, you know, I don't want to ever pretend that I'm perfect, but because I also, when they turned 21, took them on a pub run.
Now they're 21.
Yeah. And my primary reason there was to, and I felt like, I didn't feel like any of them were too much of a rebel rouser by
Yeah.
any means. But my goal there was to, hey, we can go and have a beer at the pub. We don't have to have 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
There's a moderation
Yeah.
piece here.
Yeah.
and it was another moment for me to have one-on-one time with them.
Yeah.
And we would travel 1,000 miles, you know, going around to Washington, Oregon before we came home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay, I'm sorry. That got me. I love the celebration of them as men having raised two boys,
Yeah.
because I don't think that gets celebrated in our culture very often anymore.
I agree.
I've actually said on the podcast before that I have just this real discontent with how our society, especially in 2026, has almost demasculinized men, right? Tried to say the masculinity is toxic, and I've just seen the effects on my 20-some boys.
Yeah, society does not promote masculinity.
No, not
and
at all.
It is, it's a battle, and it's a battle today. And unfortunately, there are men that have taken that too far, you know, and thought that they had to, with an iron fist, rule their household, and that's not what God, you know, wants. But yet, He wants us to be strong and to be the head of that household. And
there's just so much going on in the world now that goes against that. That we can be sensitive to others' feelings and thoughts, but boy, when it comes to myself and my sons, I've reiterated that, at the end of the day, this is your family now. You and Anna or Maddie or Tegan, their wives. You can come to Dad anytime you want, but this is your family. You make the decisions.
Yeah.
So, along with your wife. So, what's important for you guys?
I was going to ask you, now that your boys are all men,
Yeah.
and they all have their own families, right, and wives, parenting adults is so different than parenting our kids. So, what are some of the challenges that you see now, being a dad of young men, not young boys? I guess what would you recommend? Yeah. What are some of the challenges? And then do you have anything that you would recommend to our viewers that you try to follow in parenting those young men?
The challenges are wanting to jump in and recommend
Right.
whatever they're struggling with. It's like, well, yeah, but that's not what is healthy, in my opinion. It's good for them to struggle, and it's good for them to come to their own conclusions. Now, if they want to ask me what I think, okay, but they're intelligent young people, and they may choose something that I wouldn't have, and they may stub their toe along the way, but that's okay. Kim and I did that.
Yeah.
And we've got through 41 years so far. So
That's funny.
So not too much unsolicited advice.
yeah. And that's been real hard. My youngest son, I've just helped him build a house, basically.
Yeah.
And he's an engineer, so
Oh, gosh.
he knows way more about structural stuff and all that than I do. But still, there were times where I wanted to say, I can't think of an example now, but I would probably do it this way. Well, it's not my house. He'd say, Dad, can you frame that wall there? Yes, I will.
I think it's like, I just hear and see that is one of the challenges about parenting adults, or it's just like, you have to let them, and kids even, you need to let them make their mistakes when we don't like to see our children suffer or in pain.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's how they learn and how they grow.
Yeah.
So having to pull back from helicoptering,
Yeah.
Right.
when you have experience that they don't have, you've lived so much longer, you've maybe gone through the same situation, and what they're doing. It's not really gonna turn out great.
Yeah.
But to stop yourself from rescuing them is hard.
Yeah. But I've also found that just being there, being there as much as I can.
Even when they stub their toe. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, if it's something that I think is going to be harmful, I'll pipe up. But most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's something they'll get through.
Yeah. If you had one piece of advice for a new dad out there, maybe young dad, young kiddos, what would it be?
I would try and surround myself with some solid other men. Younger, well, primarily older, because they've had life experiences that you can lean on. And then, hopefully, eventually, you can fill more of a mentor role with some younger dads. But, I think of the men that were in my life, and I am very blessed to have had them, and they've helped.
And I know for you talked about Grace Garland Alliance Church,
Yeah.
right? And so I imagine that you found those young men, or the men to gather around you there. You also had some in your family. I guess this is a question probably for both of you because you're running our program that includes mentoring. Where does somebody who's not in a church find healthy guys to gather around them as they're trying to be a healthy dad?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I think, you don't even have to go to a church or belong to a church to try to find healthy community. I think there's there's hiking groups that meet. You can look on Facebook groups. I think would be a good place where people that have similar interests can do things together.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know how to guarantee that it's always healthy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, our program, I wish, was replicated numerous times throughout our communities. We'll try. We'll try and expand our reach as we can. But yeah, healthy relationships.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men out there that are more than willing to drag you into whatever mess they're in, and boy, as a young dad, you got to avoid that and be able to discern what's healthy and not.
Yeah.
And like my dad, put down your foot and say enough's enough. I'm not gonna hang out with unhealthy people that have unhealthy habits or whatever that aren't in the best interest of myself and my family now.
Yeah.
Because your dad, it's not all about you now. It's really 90% your kids, and maybe if you're lucky, 10% you.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
hear you just almost repeating what you poured into. You said that you poured into your original mentee, right? That those people that you're gathering around are not friends.
Yeah.
So being able to separate. Well, I would love for you to just kind of share a little bit more about fatherhood, our fatherhood program through Life Services, what you're seeing that we're stepping into, some of the needs, or even some of the ways that you see us having an impact, seeing dads like Rob have an impact.
Yeah. Yeah, huge impact. For our program is for clients that come through our clinic, through our medical clinic. And so we come alongside the fathers of those babies. And there's a small percentage of them that want that community, that are open to that community. And they usually are connected to a client. But yeah, I don't know. I guess you can speak to what the needs are, what you see the needs are in our fatherhood program.
Yeah, the needs are just to be able to connect with those young dads.
Yeah.
Because as men, unfortunately, we're taught that, we can do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
And so to have a young, expectant dad who's scared and probably doesn't really know what to even think or do, and to ask him to hang around a bunch of old guys, my first thought, if I was in their shoes, I don't want to be lectured by a bunch of old gray-haired guys, but that's not what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we just really hang out with them and get to know them, and we're not judgmental. We don't pretend to know everything. We can just tell you, if you want, hear my story, how I may have handled whatever you're going through, and just let you know that we're there.
Yeah.
You need us, we're there.
Yeah. I loved what you shared earlier about, you just said that you don't have, a degree in psychology or anything like that, but that you can see them kind of light up when a story is shared, or you share your. I nerd out over that because there's so much research that has been done on the healing power that comes when you sit across from someone and you're engaged and you listen to their story and they share their story. There's the left and right side of the brain actually connect and heal together. So
Cool.
it's like that's the very best thing that you guys can do is just sit and listen and respond, appropriately and show that you're in tune with them, and share some of your experience. It's like amazing things happen. So I get so excited about it.
And you show
yeah.
up. I mean, just that consistency of showing
Consistency,
up,
yeah.
showing up and showing up.
Yeah, and treating them like the humans that they are.
Yeah.
Men made in the image of God, and just showing them that respect and honor just
Yeah.
because they were created.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
and just encourage them that this journey can be absolutely amazing. But it's your decision. Going back to there's consequences to your actions. So, if you can be healthy going forward, if you're struggling with some addiction, get some help and get over that. Put that behind you, because this little boy or girl that you're bringing into the world, it can be the most amazing person and journey and that you'll have in your life. So embrace it.
Yeah.
And then, but a big part of that is, supporting the baby mom, because, she'll be going through her own challenges, physically and mentally. And when we got married, we got a book, Her Needs, His Needs. And you start out, I read her needs. Well, the book was all about Kim. It's like, what? Where does Rob come in here?
Yeah. Hello,
Well,
there's a dad involved.
Yeah. And then we swapped books, and I read his needs, and it was all about me. It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
If I make you a priority,
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, it works.
Oh,
She makes me a
so
priority.
thank you for bringing that back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So his needs, her needs, we'll put
Yeah.
that in the show notes. I think you've also got some resources that you guys are using in the program.
Well, you asked about where can people find healthy community. I think in person in the Spokane community is Spokane Fatherhood Initiative.
Yep.
Sure.
Spofy.
Yep, for just dads to walk alongside dads. I think they have a program called 24/7 Dad. And then we actually have on our website, we have an online equipping course. It's basic training for dads. It's also called Dr. Dad. And it's a self-paced course designed to help men just confidently support their partner, recognize that they have goals that are worth reaching for. And it can be interactive with our fatherhood coordinator, Nicholas. So that's free, open to anybody. And so you can find more information on that by going to our website, lifeservices.org/programs. So that's another resource.
Love that.
Yeah.
We'll link all of those again in the show notes. But Rob, thank you. Thank you. Not just for being on the podcast. I'm a little overwhelmed by just what you had to share, because it's so unusual in our society that we get to hear from a guy who is walking this out, walked out what a grandfather poured into him, what his father poured into him, and now what you've poured into your boys, and they're pouring into their own kids. And that is beautiful, and it just really stands against the grain of what we see in society. So thank you for being that kind of leader in our community, but also leader of your family.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
So beautiful.
I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, thank you so much, Rob.
You're welcome.
Well, we will be back with another episode of the Life Renovation Podcast very soon. We hope that you will like this podcast, share it with other people, and that way, and also hit subscribe. That way you can ensure that you never miss one of our episodes.
And as we close today, take this with you. You are valuable, and your life matters.
Amen.
Yeah. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.